today. Very, very proud for this very first session that we're having because it's our first session as a super session, right? Vivi and Carolina are with Autovita and they are our sponsors. They are platinum sponsors of Brazil Talks and they are launching the super sessions today. We are really happy to be here with them. We don't have a very long relationship with Vivi and Carolina, but it feels like I know them for ages. So I don't know, just like friends, good friends. And we have Ben here. Ben, who watched our live last year? Who knows Ben Cross? Who is Ben Cross, right? Ben is now with Autovita also. And he's going to be hosting the session today. But before that, Ben, tell me a little bit how you are. Why did you move into this? Give me a few
Yeah,
things about you so that people can get to know you better also.
yeah. I connected with the wonderful women of Alta Vida, Vivi and Carolina, the co-founders, last year, and we actually put together the corporate housing symposium last year, which was phenomenal. It was a virtual event. It was held over 5 days. Had an awards component, a lot of thought leadership. It was really wonderful. Loved it and just loved them and the culture and what they were doing. And then they started showing me about the product, and I was thinking to myself, this product is so revolutionary because I talk to all of my friends who do corporate housing, and they all tell me what manual processes it is. Right, and how this just drives them crazy because they get all these emails and they have to send back all these PDFs and all these attachments, and it's a very manual process, and the human beings involved get very frustrated. And so I've been hearing this for years over cocktails, right? I'm like, yeah, yes, be quiet. You're lucky you have a job.
Mm-hmm,
Just be
mm-hmm.
quiet. Let me drink my caipirinha or my cafezinho or whatever. But then I started hearing all that, and then I started seeing this product, and I'm like, wait, there truly is amazing product market fit here, and that's what really compelled me to join the team.
That's really interesting because having been on the corporate side for 20 plus years, when Vivi and Carolina showed me also the tool, the first thing that I said is, "Wow, this is amazing! Can't believe something like this exists. We have to get this out in the market, right?" And so here we are to get this out in the market. We're launching Autovita in Latam. They are already live in other regions in the world that they're going to talk about themselves. But I'm really happy and proud to be part of the Alto Vita launch in Latam. So Ben, going back to you and over to you now. I'll keep quiet. I promise I'll try. Normally I end up saying something, but I promise I'll try to keep quiet.
Yeah, yeah. Stay involved too, because we're gonna need you. Because we're gonna play a little game throughout this process as well. Okay, so Patricia, don't go too far. Okay, we need you to
Okay.
kind of put on your corporate hat as well. Okay, because we're gonna need you for a little exercise. And then all the folks who are watching right now, I see some amazing people here. Feel free to also get involved in the comments or wherever, because we'd love to hear your questions. We'd love to hear your feedback. This is going to be a little bit maybe kind of interactive, if I may even say so, and we're going to show you about the company, but we're also going to show you the actual product. So instead of showing you pictures that are static, we're actually going to get our hands dirty and use it, maybe break it, maybe make some things happen. So we're really excited about that. And to Patricia's point, this is our major kickoff into the region. We've been in Latam for a while now, but this is a real big kickoff for us. So super excited about that. But without further ado, I wanted to introduce our co-founders, Vivi Himal, CEO of Alta Vida, and Carolina Savoyeva, the COO and co-founder. Vivi?
Oh, thank you so much, Ben, for the intro. And Patricia, such an honor to be here. And I must say that despite what everything is going on right now, I feel really blessed to have met the both of you during this difficult time. And actually, it was the fruits of this difficult time that allowed us, myself and Carolina, to be connected with the both of you. And while we're on that topic, I just wanted to share quickly how actually Alta Vita has done quite well during the pandemic. In March, 12 months ago, Carolina and myself, we sat down, how can we sail through this difficult time? And we said, let's go ahead, let's conquer the world, let's dominate the market. And that is precisely what we did. So we emerged from a pan-European company in EMEA, but now we are truly global, and we are very happy to be here to launch and kick off our LATAM footprints as well. Just quickly about myself, with my co-founder here, we created AltaVita about 4 years ago. We both we didn't know each other before AltaVita. It was AltaVita that brought us together, actually. But we're both Pisces. We share very similar personality in a way. Very perseverant. We have the same vision and tenacity when it comes to AltaVita. And we take care of different things and very complementary when it comes to skill set. But at the end of the day, AltaVita is a global corporate housing. We specialize in delivery of duty of care, and how we are different from the rest of the competitors is exactly what Ben mentioned. If I just may pick up one element from what current system does, is that it discourages the best suppliers. The bidding system is so tedious that the best suppliers won't participate. And in the end, it's the assignees who suffer. The assignees won't be able to book and be even offered the options that the best suppliers do. And this is how AltaVita is different. Our inventories are live and instant. It's not click to request, it is click to book. That's it. Over to you, my co-founder, and also my partner in crime, Carolina.
Thank you so much, Vivi. And thanks again for this opportunity. We're really humbled to be here and to be talking about this, the LATAM region as such. We've been actually receiving inquiries for Latin America, including in Guatemala, for Panama, San Juan, Mexico City, Sao Paulo for some months now. But actually we've been usually asked by travel management companies to, actually offer them some inventory there. And we didn't have anything really live. We had a large network for LATAM. And then we started to look closely at the market and realized that there's so much potential, a lot of investment going into LATAM, and regional companies setting up their offices. So we were like, oh, we need to really investigate this market, and we want to be serious and invest into our technology, get plenty of supply for our clients within LATAM. So that's how we started. We currently have about 800 options already within LATAM, which are live, bookable in cities like Brazil, in Argentina. We're integrating with many new providers. So it is definitely an exciting market for AltaVita, and we are very proud to have the opportunity to present the product today. I don't know how to present AltaVita best, but perhaps we can talk a bit more about the technology, and then we can as well share more information how we're actually vetting all our housing options that are then delivered to our clients within AltaVita technology.
Yeah, okay. So what should we do, Ben? Should we do the product demo right now?
Yeah, I think that's great. I think we should, because I think that just speaks volumes, so much more than telling you about it. Why don't we just show it to you? And I'd love feedback. Patricia, Vanessa, is there a way for people to ask questions or provide feedback in any way?
Sure. If they pop up their hand and say they want to say something, then Vanessa can open their microphone, no problem at all.
Yes.
And I actually would like to start with a question. I don't know if I can start asking already, but just keep it in mind. You don't have to answer now, right? But for example, how do I as a corporate go, or I as an RMC go and find AltaVita to book a property? What do I have to do? Where do I have to go? How does that work?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, as a corporate, what we would do is we tend to enter into an agreement with the corporate, and then we give the corporate mobility manager, for example, access to our system, our database, which is essentially instant access to 200,000 of all vetted properties around the world, including in LATAM, in the cities that Carolina mentioned before. So it's a very user-friendly interface that anyone can just use. Usually we do like a 1-hour implementation call. We educate the users. In Carolina, we'll start off with the duty of care that we do, the verification, the pre-inspection that we do 24 hours before assignee arrives. And then I will also do like a product demo quickly. And that is pretty straightforward, and we look forward to showing it all to you later today.
Vivi,
Okay.
did you want to get into it and show the product?
Okay, all right. Let's get into it then.
Let's give Vivi an opportunity to share her screen. And then what we'll do is we'll actually take you through kind of like some scenarios, right? And I think once you
Yes.
see it, you're probably going to have a lot of questions and thoughts.
Yes.
And one last thing I want to say, Vivi, and then I'm going to turn it over, I promise. I want to say, besides collaborating, you know, we are looking for partners, right? So, I mean, obviously, you know, we love clients and users, but we're also looking for strategic partners, right? Whether it be suppliers or other integration partners from a technology standpoint. If you already have, you know, platforms that serve RMCs and corporate clients in the region, you know, we'd love to integrate as well. So, you know, however you kind of work in the global mobility ecosystem, you know, we'd love to consider partnerships.
Thank you, Ben. Yeah, I guess the first question I would ask the mobility manager is the policy for the assignee. Does the assignee get a lump sum, or is it more like a end-to-end service, fully managed type of relocation? Because we have designed a very unique user journey for each policy.
So I would say that we're having a long-term policy. Okay, but this person will need 60 days of temporary accommodation when they arrive in the country.
Right. And do you want the assignee to receive 3 best recommendations, or do they want to browse independently, and are they responsible to pay, or is corporate responsible for it?
So my company's policy is, let me see here, a company, they get 60 days of 60 days of temporary accommodation. And for this temporary accommodation, they get 2 options to choose. Okay. For the permanent housing, they normally give you a personal details form that will tell you more or less what they expect. And then you can offer him some options.
And
But
Patricia, let me ask.
I do have a challenge though, because I have a big Labrador and he needs to go with me. He's old and he's black and he's beautiful. He has to go with me. I can't leave him behind. Okay. Because my twin boys that are 4 are very much in love with him and they don't travel without the dog. And then I have an 8-year-old boy that is in school already.
Okay, great. Well, what I will show you is just a quick way to showcase all of our inventories. Latam Talks tent housing, for example, and we're taking the liberty to use Latam Talks as our corporate client here.
Sure.
So when Latam Talks starts sending assignees all over Latin America, you be sure to book your corporate housing with us.
I love that. I can be the first
That's
one
how
to
big
go.
Latam Talks is going to get.
So you've just seen me kind of like creating a very standard non-budgeted option. So if I click open URL here, within a few seconds, it literally brings up a landing page that is using Latam Talks as the interface all over. The Latam Talk beautiful color and the Latam Talks logo. It takes like seconds to produce this, and it comes with Carolina. What inventory would you like to show the rest of the people here in Latam?
We recently had an inquiry to Mexico City, so perhaps that would be a good one.
Mexico City,
which is great because we have Rigoberto that is from Mexico City on the call. So
there we go. So yeah, here you go. It loads up all of our Mexico City inventories just like that within seconds.
So let's slow it down here because I want to see some of these gorgeous homes.
Yes.
I always envision myself sitting on these couches and relaxing with a nice some nice drink maybe, and enjoying my new assignment.
Oh, that looks good. Can we click
Doesn't
this?
that look nice? That's the one I was looking at.
That looks serene.
Now this is gorgeous.
I
see a problem. It's not big enough for Patricia, our new executive producer of Mexico and Latam Talks. She needs a much bigger home for her black.
That's
right.
Black Labrador. So shall we go for 2 or
3 bedrooms, because I have the 3 boys and the dog.
Really pushing us here.
Yeah.
Three
Oh.
bedrooms. Wow.
Colorful. That one looks
Ah,
good.
that house in Polanco looks good. Yeah.
Wow, it's beautiful, Carolina.
This
Yes,
is
the
why this
very-
job's so fun too. You get to go to like different places virtually and like, you know, save some cash, go rent a place. That's gorgeous.
The
Patricia, could you see
design.
yourself and your family living here?
I could.
I see your boys throwing those dishes all over the place. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, definitely.
So our technology allows property manager to update everything in their property management system. So no one has to enter any data anymore with our technology. We fetch this directly and also instantly update it.
This has 3 bathrooms as well, I noticed. I mean, the properties, I've not seen this property before. I'm really kind of blown away, honestly.
It
I must
sounds
say
like
that the properties are even better than what we see in London, you know, sometimes.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Is that a relaxing room?
Yeah. That's like a chill out place.
Yeah, it's like I just go on and on and on about the photos here. It's like we haven't seen the same pictures, which means there's probably 20 or 30 photos. And the difference between us in incumbent competitors is that usually when they rebrand, you only get to see maybe 1 or 2 or up maximum 3 photos instead of this. Wow, just
What's really important as well is the presence of workspace within these apartments, as a lot of people tend to work from home. So as you can see here, we're very careful about having access to high-speed Wi-Fi, comfortable desks to work from.
I would love to hear questions from the audience. What do you think? I mean, we're obviously impressed with ourselves, but what do you think about it?
If someone wants to talk, I can, unmute you today because we are only a few people, and just let me know if you want to speak or to write something, just feel free. And actually, I just like to myself make a comment here because it looks like Airbnb, but it's it's in a different way. We can see this is corporate. It's a different level of accommodation, but I'd love to visit Patricia if she goes to this place, I can take care of the dog and the kids. I don't mind, but the place is really, really nice.
I have a feeling that if I go, you're going to have to go also, Vanessa, because
Yeah,
we're always
We are-
connected.
we are always
So-
connected.
You might
but
need
it-
two apartments in the same building, maybe. You never
That's
know.
it. Yeah, we
You
never
are a
know.
very high maintenance assignee, Patricia, but I expected nothing less from our new
Yeah, you know
executive
why?
producer.
Because I'm at the end of my career, Ben, already. So it's you're at a certain level where you don't want anything. You just need to have something special. There's a question in from Maria here. Let's see. How are the properties vetted? That's a very good question, Maria, because depending on the place in Latin America, it really is very important to have the property vetted. And there's also some companies, for example, that have security policies. So one of the companies that I used to work with in Mexico City, for example, didn't allow houses on the streets, had to be either in a gated community or an apartment building up from the 5th floor and above. That's my Labrador barking. Okay, sorry. I haven't shipped him yet.
That's a fantastic question, and the comment,
It is.
and I want to merge that comment with what Vanessa said. About it kind of feels like Airbnb, which
Yeah.
we all know and we're all kind of comfortable with, but at the same time, as corporates, we have a duty of care responsibility that's way up here. Airbnb is down here, but it's fun because it's easy, it's transparent, everything like that, and you have a lot of choice. But we as corporates have a responsibility to duty of care and safety, right? Up here. So our task, what we are trying to do is combine the duty of care of traditional legacy corporate housing options with the user experience of an Airbnb, if that makes sense. So without further ado, I'll let Carolina actually answer the question.
Sure. We can get into a bit more details about this because we have a really established process which is applicable to all our locations. So Vivi, if I can screen share now.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I brought this screen share so that you can use this.
Oh, that's okay.
Interface,
Yeah, Perfect, we can do that as well. So essentially at AltoVita, Ben said that we combine technology and a very human-centric approach to our solution. Essentially, that means that unlike with Airbnb, Booking.com, and other online travel agents, we're actually vetting every provider, every supplier who joins us and with whom we integrate onto AltoVita. Each of these vendors need to go through a two-tier quality control system, which lies on two key pillars. Number one, we're vetting the supplier operations. We're analyzing what type of insurance they have. We're looking at background checks of the provider. So our team goes online, they have a look at online reviews, business continuity of the provider. We tend to work with established companies within the sector. We also have a look at whether they have a maintenance team, whether they have 24/7 security, emergency number, and a professional cleaning team. And last but not least, also whether they are able to deliver extra additional services like airport shuttle or perhaps grocery arrival at before arrival, or maybe laundry service as well. Once the step number one is established and we sort of green lighted the provider, then we would have a look at the property level. Patricia mentioned that there's so many policies which are relative to safety and security. So we can't just, leave it with the vetting of the provider, but we really need to get our hands dirty with visiting or reviewing every single property. During COVID, when we're onboarding properties in LATAM, we're actually doing virtual walkthrough in order to assess safety and security of the provider. We have a look whether there is a front desk, whether there is in some cities or locations, whether there is a gated community, 24/7 concierge, as well as CCTV cameras. We also don't accept any properties which are sort of at a street level. That is a big no for us because of safety concerns. There's plenty of other safety parameters that we verify. In addition, all our units need to be fully furnished and they need to be suitable for extended stays. Our average length of stay is typically 30 days plus. Hence, we need to have washers in the units. We need to have fully stocked kitchens, fresh towels, workspace, premium toiletries, linen towels, obviously high-speed Wi-Fi, and all utilities needs to be included really in the unit. And on the top of everything, once we vet the provider and their property, what we would do is that we also conduct a pre-inspection. The pre-inspection takes place 24 hours prior every single arrival. And then essentially the property manager visits the unit where the guest is going to stay. They do a virtual walkthrough and they send to AltoVita pictures and videos of the actual state of the property. We then independently verify that everything is set up, all amenities are working, and the unit is essentially move-in ready. And only then the guest can move in safely. So these are a few of the steps that we conduct prior onboarding the supplier, but we also have a continuous follow-up with every supplier. So we conduct trainings, one-on-one session to really achieve that customer care and service excellence that we want.
Carolina, can you repeat where you already are in LATAM so that we can write that down and know where we can? Yeah, perfect. That map. Yep.
So we have this beautiful map. We are proud to say that we're in Brazil, we're in Sao Paulo, we're in Rio. We are just integrating with a provider for Brasilia. We are already in Lima, in Santiago. We are present in Mexico City, as mentioned, in Guatemala City, Panama, and San Juan as well.
Mm-hmm. Is that Cuba? I see you're in Havana also.
In Havana as well. We have a
few. That is amazing. Embargoed country. Wow.
Yeah.
We know how hard it is to work with an embargoed country.
And in Puerto Rico as well. this is a really small island and very difficult to find options there. So that's really good news. Yeah.
Yes. Bizarrely, actually, Puerto Rico was one of the first inquiries we ever received. So typically, clients always reach out to Alta Vita also for remote locations for the difficult markets because they know that we can deliver thanks to our thorough vetting. They're comfortable to go with our options, and that's why we also launched Puerto Rico.
Yeah, Dominican Republic also is a big challenge in the Caribbean region. Vanessa worked a lot with them, and it's very tense there.
Yeah.
Bogota, Ecuador, and Quito in Ecuador is also interesting. And I think I saw down below in the south that you're also in Uruguay, right? Can you
Yes.
move the map a little bit down?
Yeah, in Bolivia as well. right?
Bolivia, yeah.
Yeah.
Lima, Santiago, Buenos Aires, and Montevideo. Yeah. So Montevideo, it's interesting. I feel I'm probably going to say something that all the corporates already know, but we do have many companies moving into Uruguay because of the complicated situation in Argentina, and complicated not because of the COVID, right? Because that's complicated for everybody, but complicated because of their financial situation. So there is a big law in Argentina where companies can't send money out of the country, as well as assignees can't send money out of the country either. So some companies, we've seen the movement, some companies taking their expats into Uruguay. So there is a big trend if Argentina doesn't pep up there and change that law, there is a big move towards Uruguay, because Uruguay, like the Argentinians like to say, is a state, right, for them, which we know is not. It is a country, but it's so close, it's just a river that separates them and everything. It's very easy just to cross the river. So I think
I'd like to ask a question too of some of the audience here, and I see, I'm just going to kind of read some names here. I see Monique and Carolina, Janina. Hey, Janina. I see you over there. Gabriella. Let's see, Carolina, Adrian. I wanted to ask if any of you have experience with corporate housing, if you work with it. And I don't know everybody's background on the call, so I apologize. But I'd love to know what you're hearing or seeing from the requirements. What kinds of requests are you getting? Help us understand a little bit more about what you're seeing in the region. I'd love to get your insights.
While they think of their insights, we have another question here from Carolina Montero from Unique Relocation. She's asking, she would like to understand if you provide 24/7 support for emergencies and properties maintenance and issues with internet that stop working and other things of emergencies that happen normally on a Saturday evening or on a Sunday morning, right?
Always.
On holidays, yes.
Holidays, yeah, that's good session. Also Christmas Day, something like that.
Yeah, of course. So the idea is for the clients not to have to reach out to every single property manager within the country. We're providing that service for our clients. We do have single point of contact for booking, reservations, guest experience, and check-in instructions, check-out procedures as well. It is provided by our guest experience team. They're hospitality experts and trained, very well trained in customer service. And we provide that 24/7 across really our markets. So they're happy to help with any stages of the process. We also have a time frame resolution that all the providers, when joining Alta Vita, need to agree on. So when internet is down, for example, they need to provide alternatives within 2 hours, so the guest or the guest work isn't really interrupted.
I'm really happy to say too, when I joined the team at Alta Vita, gosh, I don't know, six months ago when I started working here, we've actually adopted a tri-regional kind of follow the sun service approach now, where we've opened up a Singapore office. We have an office here in the Americas, and then obviously our office in EMEA. So yeah, no matter what time of day it is, we can support requests.
Including weekends and Saturday evenings.
And holidays. We make them all work holidays.
Okay. Any questions? Does anybody want to mention anything or bring their insights that Ben asked for? Va, maybe you want to take the microphone off, the mute off from the
Yeah,
microphones. Yeah.
I'll let you speak. Okay, guys.
Yeah.
You can, in a second, you can unmute yourselves.
Do you want to take us back to the vision where we see everybody?
Yeah, we just need to stop.
That you do that. I just wanted to show something quickly again. If we go back to sort of the view of the mobility manager or the relocation manager, how we're able to control a bit more in terms of budget. For example, here, what I just showed you before, basically Patricia can book anything she wants. But if you want to put a bit more control, what you can do is enable budget limits. So very, very quickly, you can produce a landing page that allows your employees to book that is no more than $200 per night. And if you think that the city or the area where they're relocating to is a bit more difficult, you want to allow a bit of buffer, you can also enable over budget here, let's say 15%. And then this is also designed for relocation companies. We work a lot with relocation companies. And we've built here a very simple tool that enables referral fee. So anything that you see from our interface will already include that referral fee.
We even have some corporate housing companies, some global corporate housing companies that book with Altavita just because the inventory is so amazing. And the process is so good. So the referral fee is there as well. And I see currency too. And I know you're going to get to this, but I mean, I think this is obviously super important for the region. So many different currencies, unlike Europe or.
Yeah, I mean, we can upload any currencies in the world. We've just chosen the major one here so that you don't have to scroll so many times. But yeah, we can adopt any currencies you want.
That's
here
good.
as well.
We have two questions here. One from Maria. Maria is from K2 relocation. We have a push for all check-in being conducted via meet and greet. Is this something you can provide in all of the LATAM locations? And then we have another one from Renata. Renata is from Q Apartments. Hi, Carolina. Can you expand a little bit more on the booking procedure? Who signs the lease contracts with the property owner, for example? That's good. I'm liking the participation. They're embarrassed to talk, right? But they're writing, which is great, which is good enough.
Those are great questions. The first one was from I'm reading.
Maria McCoy from K2. Yeah.
Hi, Maria from K2. Hope you're well. Yeah.
Hi, Ben.
100%. Hey, good to see. Good to kind of see you. Good to see your box there, the little square. No, but yeah, Maria, definitely. Carolina, do you want to talk a little bit about how we do meet and greets on the ground?
Sure. Meet and greet is again part of our SLAs with the vendors. Well, in Airbnb, you can get like a self check-in from a really remote box. So this is forbidden entirely. With Altavita, we are compliant to the corporate housing standards, including the meet and greet. From our perspective, it just makes things much simpler when the guest can actually meet with the property manager and they can explain everything regarding the apartment, how to use a washing machine, where do you put trash, and how the elevator works, things like that. So we definitely encourage the meet and greet, and we're able to coordinate this on the guest behalf. So we're in charge of the check-in instructions, and our guest experience team arranged this for the guest.
Maria, how does that
Sorry, I have a
process work?
follow-up question. Yeah,
Go
perfect. So yes, that is exactly how we would typically provide it, is going through a guest experience team. Now, you mentioned the property managers. Is this always a property manager? Do we sometimes, have other contracted individuals that are doing it, or just, making sure that the person that's doing the meet and greet is knowledgeable about the property, the amenities, how to access them, what the booking includes, because obviously if a gym membership is required and they don't have that, and then we show them this fabulous gym, that's not going to bode well for the assignee.
Yes, for the kind of serviced apartments, that's very easy. There's a front desk and they're able to take them around. But for the meet and greet for profession managed apartments, I think that Vivi, the one that you actually showed, is a professionally managed unique home. So we would have the actual property manager or someone who is responsible for that property and knows the property doing the visit and doing the meet and greet. So we wouldn't be the contractor of that meet and greet person. It would be directly the on the ground staff.
And I would assume that that can happen 24 hours a day, 7 days a week as well, with, you know, flight complications and. Okay.
Yeah, we can arrange late check-ins as well, late meet and greets. That's fine. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's actually really important, Marie. I like the question. We had a case a few years ago where we had a family arriving, a very short flight going from Buenos Aires to Santiago de Chile, which is a 2.5, 3-hour flight. They had a terrible storm in the way. The flight got in 4 or 5 hours delayed because they were held back in Buenos Aires, and they got into the apartment at 1 a.m. in the morning. And what happened? It was locked. Simply locked. And the person, the assignee, was with his family. I think it was a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old, two very small children, his wife, suitcases. And what do I do at 1 a.m. in the morning in the middle of the city of a place that I don't know? Right. And it was a very uncomfortable situation. Luckily, he managed to find his global mobility advisor at 1 a.m. And then we ended up managing to find an emergency number and everything, and it was solved. But the reality is that the person walked in at 1 a.m. and the door was locked, which is an awful experience, right? So we do need to guarantee 24/7, definitely.
That's a great point, Patricia. I mean, we do have that 24/7, but also it's important to do reporting from our side. So we always reach out to the property manager whether there's been, you know, a successful check-in, so we can as well report back. And then in case, you know, we hear that the client has not arrived in time, then we would coordinate with the responsible, either relocation manager or travel manager, or the HR team, to understand what has been happening, because usually they can help.
That's great. Thank you. And then Carolina, one more for you. How can you expand on the booking procedure? Who signs the lease and the property? Was it the property owner, or any other specifics that you have on the booking process?
Sure. So perhaps I can elaborate on the leases and what is the actual admin part of the booking, and perhaps we can elaborate more on the tech side and the different ways we have how to book a property. But essentially, when a client requests to book a property, what we usually do is that we sign a very simple booking confirmation, which states the cancellation policy, early departure notice or policies, as well as house rules. So, for example, no smoking. Otherwise, there is a fee. Or, you know, it also states emergency contact numbers for Alta Vita and the property manager, check-in instructions. The guest needs to provide names, and that's it really. In case a regulatory framework requires a passport from the guest prior arrival, may happen in some cities. We have a GDPR compliant tool where the guest submits passport details, and it feeds directly in line with data protection compliance to the property manager, so they can take record of it. And that's it really. With us, the booking is extremely simple, and we also handle any potential extensions on our side, because that always happen in the relocation world.
Good.
I guess what I would like to
I have
add.
one. Go ahead.
I think somebody, Jana, go ahead.
Yes. Just one thing, just to clarify. I realize you show like different currencies. Those different currencies is so they can see the cost. We can see the costs in the currency that we want, or that means that we can invoice in any of those currencies.
Good
Yeah, that's a
question.
great question.
Yeah.
It is designed really for the users, the employees, so that they can see the currency they would like to see. You can set it in the dashboard what we want to set, but actually the employee will be able to also select their own currency in our landing page, for example. In terms of invoicing, we can invoice in many major currencies, and of course local currencies as well, as long as there is no restriction that is related to that particular currency. So many emerging market currencies are just simply restricted. So we're not able to take the payment in that emerging market currency, for example. But US dollars, any major currencies we can bill.
Thank you.
Okay.
Does that answer your question? Because I could see where you want to get a quote for the property and the currency of the, let's say, the business that is bringing the assignee over, because their budget's going to obviously be typically in their local currency that business transacts in. And so you want to be able to kind of fluctuate those. And then Vivi, I'm assuming, then correct me if I'm wrong, but whatever currency it's booked in is also the currency that it would then be invoiced in? Or because I could see some discrepancy there, and then how does that handled?
Yeah, I think the currency that it's booked in is a bit more flexible because it's just a calculation, it's a reflection that can be easily calculated. But it is to do with the invoicing, which entity can invoice in what entity can invoice in what currency is the bigger question. We can try to accommodate as much as possible, obviously, when it comes to the currency. But yes, with regards to employees, it can be as flexible as possible.
Just one more question. When you said like the major currencies, reais is one of them.
Jana.
We are talking about South America.
Yeah. I must apologize if it is if there is no restriction from the country itself, for example, to bill that currency by a foreign company, then I think we can do that. But sometimes the countries themselves have the restrictions.
It's exactly why I'm asking, because here at Brunel, I have like entities in different countries, and we can invoice. And then sometimes the country that, even inside of Brunel, depending on the country that I'm making the internal agreement, they will ask that we will invoice in that specific country. So then sometimes we will have the challenge to like, okay, but the provider doesn't invoice in that currency. So that was why I was asking.
Yeah. I mean, most of the time what we do is we work based on transparency, which means that we have an agreement with our suppliers. We charge a commission of usually 9%. That number doesn't change. It's a number we agree with them. So what we can do is essentially forward the provider's invoice to you. So then it's like local currency to another local currency. What we provide is really simply the technology, the personalization, the customer service, also the easy access to all of our inventories. But we don't have to rejiggle the admin to overcomplicate it. So we can simply forward that local provider's invoice, and then we can summarize it for you. So then it's easy to pay as well. It's not like you have to deal with thousands of invoices. We can summarize it with you in one simple statement with thousands of invoices as a backup.
Awesome. Thank you.
That does make the process simpler. Definitely.
Yeah.
It does help a lot. Yeah. So if we don't have any more questions, I would like to ask maybe Ben, Vivi, and Carolina to explain to us a little bit more about this innovation summit that Alto Vita is also launching. Yeah, because it's really exciting. And if I can share with everybody here, when I learned about it, when they told me about it, I thought it was an amazing idea, because they're calling us to help solve a problem that is ours. And when I say ours, it's the community's problem, right? It's a difficulty or a challenge that we might have. And we also have to put together, and then I'm asking for help here, is a LATAM table to represent LATAM in the Innovation Summit. So whoever is there and wants to join us, Carolina and Vivi and Ben are going to explain a little bit more, but Vanessa and I are here to represent the Altovita Innovation Summit. I was going to say forum, sorry. So over to you guys.
Patricia, thank you so much for teeing that up and making time for this, because I think this is one of the most incredibly exciting ideas of 2021. And here's why I say that, right? I'm not just like blowing smoke here. Here's why I'm saying that. Because I think it's the first time the global mobility industry has ever collaborated across competitors, across lines of business, across regions, globally, in one place at the same time to work on common problems. And we believe that if we all kind of put our heads together, right, to use the phrase, we can come up with really cool solutions, right? Because we all have knowledge and expertise in different areas. And if we can find ways to collaborate efficiently, and without, thinking about, oh, this is proprietary to me and I'm not going to share information and I'm not going to share my intelligence and my smarts on these things. But if we can actually kind of break down some of those silos and some of those walls and those barriers, we believe that we can create things that are truly transformational. I believe that the idea of anti-competitiveness and the idea of proprietary technology and processes has probably been the thing that's held our industry back the longest. And when I met Vivi and Carolina, I was so impressed by, they always say no ego, right? Whenever we talk in meetings, right? They're just like, Ben, tell us what your thoughts are. No ego. Don't worry about hurting my feelings. Just tell me what your thoughts are. And I was just like, what do you mean you have no ego? You're like the co-founders of this really cool technology company. What do you mean you have no ego? But like, they really subscribe to that. And it's incredible what you can accomplish when you don't worry about who gets the credit or, who's out front on things, right? And which is why Vivi and Carolina let me do a lot of talking, because they know that I like to talk and they just kind of like make it all happen. But my point is saying this: we're creating a innovation summit across 5 regions, across 4 sessions, 2 of which are public, 2 of which are private invite only, where we are going to bring all of the stakeholders from all of the regions together in one place. We're going to use a collaborative whiteboard process where we can put Post-it notes and ideas on one big board. We have a professional design thinker, the director of innovation at Ayers, a large relocation company in the United States, who's going to come in and actually help us think better and organize our thoughts. And then we have ambassadors like you, Patricia, and you, Vanessa, who are going to actually take the kind of the mess, if you will, of all of our thoughts on a board, and with Chris's help, organize these into problems that we are then going to solve. And as a group, we are going to vote on which problems are most pressing and most impactful. And then once we identify our problem set, right, one problem from each region, so LATAM have a problem, North America have a problem, Africa, Asia, Europe, et cetera, we'll have 5 problems. And then it's on us to go out and actually build software products to solve those problems. And not only are we going to just say we're going to do it, we're actually going to show back up in 2 months and say, here they are, right? And we're going to actually show them publicly, which is something also I don't think most software and technology companies do, is actually kind of create in the public eye and then make it accessible. So that's the idea. Vivi, Carolina, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, thank you, Ben, for explaining it in such a powerful way, much better than I could ever do. But I just wanted to pick up a few elements of what we would like to do. It's basically a very bold vision, one that unfortunately can be delivered with the current environment right now. Doing it virtually, we are able to deliver problems, also the product features in 5 continents in 5 days. So that is unprecedented for sure. And what we want to do is also challenge ourselves if we can reduce product development time that usually takes years, 1 to 2 years. And because sometimes most of the time is because of the lack of feedback. So we want to bring 2 years of product development to 2 months. It's a big challenge. It's a big ask for our dev team, but it's one we're willing to undertake because we think that doing this collaboratively makes the process of getting feedback much more efficient. So by the end of the month, we may not have the best product, but we will be able to allow some people to play around with it, play around with the prototype, give us the feedback, we will iterate, we will do the testing, soft launching, and then finally the product launch, 5 days, 5 continents, 5 product features.
That is going to be amazing. Where it's going to be really different. I've never seen something like this. And I invite everyone to be part of it because I think it really is something different. And I really do believe we will come out with results. So, well.
I would love to ask, Patricia, if I may, I'd just love to ask the audience what they think of the idea. Because I see all of a sudden people went from like checking their email to like, what, really, you're gonna do what now? So I just want to see, you know, Carolina, Janina, Monique, Adrian, I see your faces there. What are your thoughts, just first take, what are your thoughts on this question?
That's really good. But while you think what you're going to answer, Ben, and I would like everybody to answer him, Vanessa's just going to put up the satisfaction survey as we normally do 5 minutes before we end the session. So we'll just put it up here. But let's start with you, Jana, because I know you have something to say.
No, it's fantastic and crazy. And when, yeah, it's crazy. But when I was hearing Vivi talking, made me, I got in my mind hearing Patricia months ago saying how the pandemic brought this whole thing that everyone had to do a lot of things like in a unique, really short time. And it's really nice to see that you guys are taking this ahead, not just like, okay, last year we did that. And you guys are just using the experience to bring something that it's really great. It's really ambitious. I love the idea, but yeah, of course it is crazy. You guys are working with them.
But we're not doing this alone.
Fantastic. I'm really excited to see what will be the ideas. Really great. Congratulations.
Okay, counting with you at our table, huh? You too, Monique. I know you have to go really fast before you go. Hope to see you at our table next week. 25th of March is the day of the launch. So Vivi just put here where you can register. And if you have any doubts, reach out to us. We can also explain. Anybody else? Love plus Rio. Anybody else want to answer, Ben? People are shy still.
Yeah, it is ambitious, and I appreciate you saying that too. And you know, and there's a chance that it doesn't work. I mean, there's a chance that it just fails. I always say this, Vivi's like, don't jinx it, but I mean, you know, we're doing something ambitious. We're not playing it safe, right? We're out here to really transform the industry and do things that are meaningful. And I don't think you can do that by playing it safe and kind of staying in your bubble, right? You have to be out there, right? And it is crazy, Janina, and you know, I only do crazy things, right? Because crazy things get crazy results, right? So we got to do things a little different.
I would say, like you mentioned, that maybe it will not work. I think it will work. That's not a point of not working. Maybe it's not going to happen exactly as you were thinking, but it's going to work.
It is. I think so too. And Carol has already said that she's going to be with us also. So that's great. Well, great, everyone. Thank you so much for being part of this first Brazil Talk Super Session. We're really proud. We do have another session just like this one on Thursday in case somebody that you know didn't manage to come today because it was short notice, we know. But we had to get it in this week because of the next week, beginning of the Innovation Summit. So thanks a lot for everybody that's here with us. Reach out if you have any doubts. You all have our emails. You know where to find us also. And we are here. Vivi, Ben, Carolina, do you want to say something before we close? Or see you on Thursday?
Vivi?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, yeah, it's a bold vision, but really we're doing this collaboratively. We're being supported by Ben in the US, Patricia in LATAM, and Karen Mendes in APAC. Today, we just got a confirmation that Noran from GMJ will also be supporting us in Europe.
That's great. GMJ is a good initiation
Yeah.
also. Yeah.
Yeah, she's extremely proud to be alongside Ben and also Patricia and Karen. So it won't be easy, but we have great people supporting us.
I just want to
That's
thank you, Patricia, and thank you, Vanessa, so much for the opportunity. And it's so nice to meet all of you that I haven't met before. And it's so good to see friends that I have met before. So thank you so much.
Okay, great. Thank you. And we'll be here next Thursday. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Speak soon.